Welcome back. My name is Shelby Paris, and this is episode 2 of my project Breakdown to Healing. And in this episode, we will be talking about the short series that some of you guys have already seen or will hopefully be seeing after this video. If you haven't seen the first episode, I gave a full overview breakdown of ultimately the music. So we went through the track listing and the themes. We went through the inspirations of the project as a whole, along with inspirations of individual songs and why you have To Healing, what To Healing ultimately is supposed to be about. Like I said, this will be talking about the short series. So starting with, nonetheless, why am I doing a short series? The reason why I wanted to do a short series and my inspiration behind it is because I want to get more into production. I would like to be behind the camera more, not necessarily, or I should say directing, not production, but nonetheless producing, but not necessarily working with the camera itself. I'd like to be directing more. To me, that's the next step in my creative journey and the next skill for me to exercise creatively, being able to tell these stories visually. For those that don't know, I'm an author. I wrote my first book at 21. I wrote my sixth book at 24. I enjoy stories. I like telling stories. I like hearing stories. I'm more of an auditory type person anyway. I don't necessarily need to watch something for me, but I also understand the day and age in which we're in that people would like to have a visual. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to do music videos, which was another reason why I chose to do a short series. This is still able to deliver a message and talk about the themes, which is kind of the entendres of some of the themes that I spoke on in the music itself. So to which the music might be a happy song. In the short series, you might get something that is more sad, and then vice versa. Short series, you might get a real happy video to which the song was something sad or something more somber. The reason why I chose to do black and white, I'm a big fan of classic American cinema, black and white films. I really love the idea and concept of this single frame and everything happening in this frame. Now, if I could have, I would have done everything similar to Adolescence before I even knew about Adolescence and was hearing people talk about the cinematography of it. That's what I probably would have did. Everything would have been, or at least that's the idea I had. Everything being this one shot just flowing ultimately into whatever the next thing is. I wanted to tell the story in that way. Wasn't able to do that. Still was able to do something I'm a big fan of, which is and are these still frames. So as you're watching it, ultimately the shots are caught in these still frames. The reason why I'm doing black and white is because I didn't want to take away from the messaging. I wanted the words, I wanted the actions of the actor, because there is a narrator, there's a voiceover. I'll talk about that in a second. I wanted the animation to really stand out. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any actors or actresses to play the roles that I wanted people to play in this, but nonetheless, again, shout out to my amazing and supportive Priante for playing the roles that she did in it. Me and her were able to nonetheless deliver the messages the best that we can in the short series. There is one slight feature in there that I can remember as of right now, which is my little brother. So if you are watching the YouTube video, because this is shot in, shout out to Brian Kugler. This is shot and framed for the Instagram/TikTok size, along with the YouTube side. So as I went through Premiere, started with the Instagram, TikTok 9x16, I believe it is, or 16x9, whichever one it is, first, and making it this tall frame. And then I made it into the YouTube frame so that way you can get the full experience over here. You can get the more intimate experience here on socials. I understand everybody's not going to click the link or, well, nonetheless, yeah, click the link, scroll into the description, go to the page, whatever it is, and go follow where the link is. So I did frame this for both You will get a slightly different vibe depending on which one you see. I encourage you to watch both nonetheless. Watch both, feel how you feel with each of it. That ultimately is the reason why I wanted to do a short series, why it's in black and white. The voiceover that you hear, the narration that you hear is, shout out to my man Marcus Owens, aka Leaders to Society. One of my homies, met him, I don't even know however many years ago now, was able to work with him and witness him as he was able to create his books. Chester's World is his most recent one. Highly, highly, highly encourage you guys to go grab that. It's a children's book, ultimately talking about a young man, his journey, or at least him journeying through this new and big world in existence as a young black male. So if you have a son, even if you have a daughter, you yourself want to purchase, highly encourage you to go find that. Again, Leaders to Society, as you'll see the link in the description, and I'll be tagging him in the video as well. The reason why I wanted him to do the voiceover, one, it's my man. So we've been talking about how can we work together, when we'll be able to work together. This was an opportunity to me for us to work together. He's somebody that comes from the South, from Florida. Why can't I think of the name of the town or where he's from right now? Oh man, I can't think of where he's from right now, but nonetheless, shout out to him. Shout out to everybody from there. I wanted him because he has a certain grit, charisma, a smoothness, or a certain polishedness to how he's able to speak, being as articulate as he is, but nonetheless, you still get somebody from Florida who has this grit and grind attitude and demeanor. And nonetheless, I feel like it was able to represent the message and theme better than what I was able to. Again, the project to healing itself, and the reason why I wear this It Takes Heart stuff, it's about embracing and going through your journey, your shadows. And I wanted somebody who had a voice that I felt like could take us through these shadows and then bring us into this light. So that's why I have my man Marcus doing it. So let's get into the project itself. The short series ultimately is to show journey from the first episode being struggle, pain. We continue to go more and more into happiness, nonetheless, more and more into healing, into what healing actually is. Again, that's to everyone respectively, what their version is. I was able to paint the picture of what it is for me. With the first episode, first song, to healing, I listed these as acts. That was something I'm a big fan of. I wanted to set it up similar to a play. So you'll see the title saying to healing, act blank. And then it'll be like in this episode is just the intro. So to healing itself is just the name, act 1. And then you'll get to healing, act 2, act 3, and then the title of that underneath. So the episodes are set up in which you'll be able to read quotes through, quotes that I think are very important, things that have inspired me and hopefully are able to also inspire you as well. In this first episode, we start in a graveyard, so that should kind of tell you where we're at with it already. And the symbolism about this is to be rebirth. It's visiting and seeing the path, the depth of who we were. And now, well, the whole episode is struggle nonetheless, but from there, we move forward through the journey. So we start with this graveyard scene, and then through the episode, you're going to watch and see different struggles, different pains happening. And then eventually it will lead us to our second episode, which is Run Your Race. In Act 2, Run Your Race, it symbolizes or is going to be showing and speaking to, on the one side, again, this project is emphasizing and highlighting polarity. On the one end, it seems like we're getting up, doing these things every day, and life is redundant. On the other end, we recognize that the consistency pays off. So those are the two lessons, or at least the lesson I wanted to show and Run Your Race. It's Get up, get to it every day. Some days is going to feel like it's redundant and you're nonetheless kind of failing over and over and over again, still working for that breakthrough. It takes 20 years or whatever it is to be that overnight success. And then the other side, it is the success of consistency being rewarded. Act 3, vent. In this one, we talk about nesting. So to where the song itself is more to what is expected, venting as in I'm expressing, releasing all these pains that I have built up, getting rid of this anguish and anything that was down deep in these shadows being harbored. In the short series episode, I wanted to represent nesting. I wanted us to be prepping and preparing for our manifest. The things that we desire, we have to clear space for. So in this, you'll see, nonetheless, cleaning. I promise it looks better than what it sounds. But again, watch this with the perspective of clearing space to receive that which you're desiring. Act 4 is why, and in why we go through an existential crisis. One of my favorite books is called The Stranger. I can't think of the author right now, just because nonetheless, I kind of record these videos off the whim. I just say, all right, I'm ready to go record. I got the energy right now and sit down and get to it. I can't think of the name of the author right now. Nonetheless, that'll be in the description, or at least I'll type it on a video or however I choose to do it. But I wanted to represent existentialism, the questioning of existence, questioning why, where the whole question existence, question it all. Question until those questions are solved. I wanted to just go through a journey, and nonetheless, life itself has its ups and downs. So even though I wanted it to be a consistent theme of just going up and growing into this light of to healing, you're always going to have those humbling experiences that are going to hit you. I'll say, I don't want to say set you back or knock you down, but you are always going to get hits. Hopefully those hits are minor. And why we showcase the challenge or the questioning of, and nonetheless, from another perspective, a breakthrough. We're showcasing a breakthrough itself. After we're coming off Run Your Race and the quote unquote breakthrough you witness in that, and why we still find ourselves just wondering and curious of it all and just what it all means. In Act 5, Rebirth of Simba, we get into the old love of basketball. Now, I myself don't necessarily want to be associated with basketball anymore, but that's just because I want to continue to grow myself greater than, nonetheless, what my hometown kind of just knows me as and sees me as, because I see myself as way greater than just the basketball player, which basketball is amazing. I have a speech on athlete PTSD, and one of the things I talk about is the things that you can take from this game and how basketball itself builds you greater for life than what any other microcosm of a sport can do. And that's an argument I'll have and conversation I'll have another day. So in Rebirth of Simba, again, inspired by J. Cole's trilogy of Simba, well, J. Cole's Simba trilogy, I should say. In Rebirth of Simba, let's get back to the roots. Let's get to the fundamentals and the foundation for me, which was basketball. So again, framed separately for social media to YouTube. In the social media one, you get the way more intimate feel as you're seeing me do different actions and acts in which I'll pop up on screen doing whatever the basketball move is, or lifting whatever the weights are, doing whatever the exercise is that I'm doing. And then on the YouTube video, you're able to see, nonetheless, obviously that broader scope. And you're able to now see my little brother, who is one of the few features that are on here as well. So you're able to see him. And again, when we talk symbolism, at least in my life, my little brother, my little sister. If you read my 6th book, Write My Pains Away, my autobiography, you know how valuable they are to me and how pivotal they were for me at my mental health when things seemed to be going downhill for me. So on Rebirth of Simba, to have him there was great. That actually was recorded, like many of the other things, kind of off the whim. I was on my way home to walk my dog. He called me to ask how far I was from the crib because he needed a charger. I said, lucky for you, pulling in my neighborhood right now. Yo, is anybody in the gym? Anybody in the weight room? Like, nah, it's empty actually. Bet. Grab the camera, grab the tripod. I always made sure everything is charged and ready to go. You know, stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. And nonetheless, went and shot this. So again, Rebirth of Simba, you're watching, and the lesson in it is get back to who you are at the root, at the foundation, fulfill that child of you that still lives within. In Act 7, we have Scenic Route. Scenic Route was my favorite to record. Scenic Route, it ultimately represents the past and present. We start at my childhood home, going through some symbolic things there. From there, we go to the courts, a court that I used to play at. And then from there, we end up at the lake of just being present, just sitting, enjoying life. I guess it is past, present, future, because in that last scene, it is me sitting down and writing. I don't think that's giving too much away, but nonetheless, writing a verse, which you could assume to be whatever song you want to assume it to be. You could assume it to be Scenic Route or something else, but the past, present, future is represented in that song of, again, the scenic route, embracing the beauties of our path, the beauties of our journey, where it's taken us and where we are to go. Act 7. I'm sorry. So Scenic Route is Act 6. Act 7, I Just Want to Be Free, is about grounding. As we go through some of my regular spiritual practices, socks off, soul to grass, and reconnecting with Mother Gaia, reconnecting with the earth itself, going through grounding, meditation, yoga, breath work, ultimately, and I just want to be free. It's about allowing the mind, body, spirit to be free, showing what a freedom looks like. It's not about, or at least for me, it's not about all the physical things. It's not about freedom. For me, is not about having all this money in the world. It's not even so much about having all this time in the world, but the freedom is not being shackled to your past, not being controlled by whatever traumas, demons, fears, doubts, pains that you attempted to bury, but being able to move freely, joyously, happily, and embracing every opportunity in which life has presented to you. It's living in a state of paranoia in which you recognize that everything presented to me at this point is a blessing, because I've healed and I've grown past what was the things that were shackled me. What I used to see as obstacles have now become blessings, and or I perceive and understand the blessing of the lesson from it. So I Just Want to Be Free is ultimately about that. Reflections, honestly, at the time of recording this video, I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. I have a couple ideas in mind. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should let the people vote on what they would like to see of it. But again, I honestly haven't recorded it yet. An idea I'm considering is going through my baby video, and maybe I take clips from my baby video. Maybe I do it as me sitting down watching my baby video. Maybe I just do a recap of all the episodes that were seen. I don't know. But I know for reflections, I do want it to be something where we showcase the past. The lesson I probably will want to deliver to people is understanding these beauties were always there. Even though we may have not recognized it, the beauties of life were always there. As J. Cole said, the beauty of life, the pain never lasts. So to every piece and bit of pain that we may have lived in, again, on the other end of that was such light beauties and joys. So I'm trying to think. I don't think there's really anything else for me to get into on this part of the breakdown. Again, if you have not yet, if this is out while the project is already being released, go watch the YouTube version, go watch the social media version. Let me know which one you like best. Algorithm's sake, please save, share, comment, like, ultimately in that order of what's most equitable to and for social media. Y'all know the regular niceties and everything that is needed of somebody to grow when they're putting content out there. Please like, share, subscribe, save, all that on YouTube as well. Subscribe to the YouTube, follow the Instagram, TikTok. Again, the Shelby Paris on all socials. Shelby Paris, and that is Paris with 2 R's on YouTube, along with all the other ones. My name is Shelby Paris with 2 R's. And this is episode 2, the short series breakdown for my project to healing. So again, I appreciate and